Hello everyone, so last time I got the roof on and I had to cut an opening for the door to be able to do that. So now I can get this all trimmed back nicely, stapled back, and we can actually get the door fitted. When I framed the walls, I put this bottom plate in and it's kind of in the way of the door, so I knew it was never going to stay there, but it's easier to frame the walls with it in place. Now I did actually put a couple of screws in and screwed it down, but I remembered at the time and got them taken out. So now I should just be able to make 2 cuts and this lifts out. Okay, let's see if this fits. Well, that's a relief. Let's get it screwed in place. Got this held in place with a clamp, and then I'm getting some wedges, or some packers I should say, in, and then I can get some screws in to lock it into place. Right, I think that's done. Okay, let's get on with the window. Right, so now we've got to do exactly the same thing with the window. Get these bits stapled back and then trimmed off first. It's a big heavy window, this. But it fits. So now again, the same with the door, I've got some packers in and I can get some screws in to lock it into place. With the window secured in place, I'm just going to go around the outside with some glazing silicone and fill this gap. Right, we're going to start with battening just 3 sides. We'll come to the front later on. So the first batten we'll just line up with the bottom. That's easy. The top batten is already in place. And we'll come to the middle one in a bit. So I think I'll get the first one on the bottom because that involves no measuring or marking. Well, I say no measuring or marking, but we actually want to start it 65mm in because I'm going to put some corner pieces in. It'd be better to have those first so we could butt it up, but I haven't ordered them yet because I'm not entirely sure I have enough of the battening, so I'm waiting till I place an order. Anyway, now we can get these screwed in. Okay, so 2 levels of battens in. So the third one, I'm just going to hook the tape off the first batten. I'm going to go, what should we say? I suppose I could measure the half, that'd be more sensible, wouldn't it, Matthew? Yeah, so about a metre up. We'll put some marks, line our batten with up with that and get it screwed in. Let's see, we do it on the studs because that's what we're screwing into. Oh, I'm glad I've got you here to talk to, otherwise I'd never work this out. Now for the cladding. So the bits of wood for the corners arrived, some 2x4s. I've got them up and painted. Now for the cladding on 3 walls, what I'm going for is some corrugated bitumen sheets, the same as what I used on the workshop. Now I start on this wall because it should be the easiest. If my calculations are correct, we should be able to get 3 panels on this with no cutting whatsoever. It just needs screwing on. So what I've got is some exterior screws and some black plastic caps. So we should be able to just offer these up and drive some screws in. Now when you install these sheets on the roof, you put the screws into the peaks, not the troughs. Like what I did on the roof of this actually. But last time I did that on the workshop build, everyone told me, why are you not putting them into the troughs? Because then it'll just be easier, because when you tighten it down it wants to flatten the peaks. But my argument was that rain still runs down them, so it's still better to put it in the peaks. Anyway, this time I'm going to have a go putting it in the troughs, because the overhang on the roof's bigger, so you won't get the rain running down. I don't think it'll be a problem, so I'm sure everyone this time will tell me I'm doing it wrong. Now I'm doing it the other way. So I have them on the top and the bottom. Now I need to work out the middle. I had it 100mm, so I should have been able to work that out. 101. Now I can use the tape, hook it under the bottom, just work out where these screws need to go in. Now I can get the second panel on, so I just overlap one ridge and then I can get some screws in to lock it into place. Alright, now for the last panel on this wall. So overlapping it at one end, and then it's going to fold around the corner, but we'll get some screws in first. This can now get folded around, and I'm going to get one more row of screws in, and then it's going to get a bit more complicated because the roof slopes from now on. I've measured what the drop needs to be, so now I can get that marked out, and I'm going to get it cut with the jigsaw. This can now overlap the one that goes around the corner and get screwed into place. Then it's just a question of repeating the process down the other 2 walls, or 1.5 walls now. In a large build like this, there's loads of maths and engineering problems to solve, but there's a fun way to learn and improve these skills. And that's with Brilliant.org. They have thousands of lessons in all levels, from foundational to advanced. Brilliant is the best way to learn maths, data science and computer science interactively. New sessions are being added all the time. I love to learn and do so through watching content and putting it into practice, and that's why I love Brilliant's interactive and fun courses, because they really suit my learning style. I'm continuing my journey at the moment to try and improve my engineering skills. The course I'm working on at the moment is about bridge design. I feel if I can build a bridge, I can probably cope with a shed. So you've got this structure and you need to add some extra supports to stiffen it. So I think if I add some in to put across, that should work. Yeah, that's good. Now for this one I need to add as few supports as possible. So the cross design worked before, so I'm going to do that again and check that, and We seem good. Right, let's continue. Oh, now this, we're doing it the other way round. So we need to remove as much material as possible. So I think we don't need that support at the bottom, and we can only have one cross in the center. So we'll get one of those removed, and yeah, we're good. So now I feel confident and finish my shed project. It's great learning by doing. These fun to do, bite-sized courses are great as I can fit them in between projects, learning new skills and challenging myself at my own pace. If you'd like to try everything Brilliant has to offer for free for a full 30 days, visit brilliant.org/Badger Workshop. There's a link down below in the description for 20% off Brilliant's annual premium subscription. So thank you Brilliant for sponsoring this video. Now let's get on with the cladding. Right, that is 3 sides done. Now let's get back to the front. Previously I siliconed all around the window. Now that's dry, I'm going to go around with some flashing tape. This stuff just cuts easily with scissors and it's got an adhesive back to it. You just peel that off, line it up and stick it on. When I'm putting this tape on, I always start at the bottom, working my way up so that the joints overlap, because water will run downhill, so you always want this piece going over the piece below so no water can get in. As I say, this stuff is adhesive backed, but just to help it really stick, I like to get the heat gun out, give it a bit of a soften, and then it really sticks on there. Now I can get some cladding on. So on the other 3 walls we've gone for horizontal cladding for those bitumen sheets. I'm going for vertical cladding on this because I'm going to put some wooden cladding on. I'm doing the wooden cladding because we've got the windows and the doors and fiddly bits, and it's just so much easier than trying to cut it out from a big sheet. Right, that's battens around the windows, but the windows stick out further than the door. So actually I need battens around the door, but I also need trim pieces. So what I actually did is just took a 2x4 and ripped a piece out of it so it can act as trim and a batten. So I can get one of these screwed either side. Now to get the cladding on, and what I'm going to go for is some feather edge boards. So I've got these laid out to dry off a little and sweep all the dust that's always on them. Now to get them on, I don't think I'm going to do any measuring to start with. I can just offer it up, mark it out, and then get it cut with a jigsaw. So for the first one, what I'm going to do is get it on, lined up, and then just make sure it's level with a level. Then I can get some green decking screws that I have driven into the battens. I've got the next board cut exactly the same way, and I've got a couple of screws starting it, but now we need to work out what the overlap for the first board is. So what I've done is I've come up with a little jig, and that's just going to hook over the bottom board, then the second board will rest on that, and then we'll get the screws in. Then it's just a case of doing that all the way up. Right, I think that's the last of the easy ones. Next, you have to cut it the same length, but then mark out and cut a little opening to go around the window. This bit is cut to size, so now get it lined up and put some marks in where the window opening is. Other way round. That seems pretty good, so get some screws in. With the cladding up to the window, I've now got the gaps either side of the window. But what I have is all the offcuts left over, so what I can do is get them cut to size and just continue up either side of the window. That's the fourth wall, all clad. I really like the wooden cladding, but it's much more expensive than the bitumen sheets and takes more time to go up, and you've got to maintain it, as the bitumen is maintenance free, so it's really good, kind of the back and the boundaries, the places you don't want to go. But now I'm going to paint it with the same paint I've been using so that it all ties together nicely. This is the last bit, so that's it. I think all painted and all finished. Ah, great. So that is it all done. Really pleased with it. Just an empty room at the moment. There's not much to show you around. But now I can just start filling it up. So I think it's all worked really well. I'm pleased with my two different cladding options. The roof is a fantastic system, all insulated. And what I've done is I've built this with one eye on upgrading in the future. Because it's got the battens and the breathable membrane, I can fill in between these studs with insulation and board it out inside, and then I've got a fully insulated room. So really pleased with it. So thanks for watching. Thanks to my patrons, and please subscribe for more videos.